If you're into electric cars, you probably know that Tesla just unveiled the affordable Tesla Model 3, a $35,000 EV that won't be available for around 2 years. But what if you're jonesing for an EV? Well, there are options, as I found out today here at Green Eyed Motors, where we'll give you the top 5 electric, hybrid, or plug-in hybrid cars that you can buy right now.
My name is Luke Walsh. I am the owner of Green Eyed Motors. Me and my wife started this about 4.5 years ago.
And Luke, let's start and talk about Green Eyed Motors. What's the concept? I see a lot of electric cars around us, and hybrids, and plug-in hybrids.
Plug-in hybrids, everything. We specialize in efficient used cars. It's kind of what our motto is the greenest cars are used green cars. So we take advantage of the Colorado tax credit on used EVs, and so we ship them in from other states, cars that you can't even get in Colorado.
Like the Fiat 500?
Like the Fiat 500, and there's a 1% for every kilowatt hour battery pack off the purchase price, sent back to you from Colorado with a cap of $6,000.
Now in a new car, the federal government gives you $7,500, but that's only on new cars.
That's only on new, so those are all taken on all of our used cars, but you still get a pretty generous rebate on the used.
Now you used to work for Tesla.
I did.
And when Tesla first came here, I remember they only had the Roadster at that time. And I had a friend who purchased a Roadster, and it was $140,000 at the time, and he purchased it because Colorado was giving people, this is mind-blowing but true, I think a $42,000 tax credit.
Yeah, it varied. It was based on the purchase price of the comparable car, which is the Lotus Elise.
Yep.
And so it was even more than that on certain configurations of that car.
Tesla unveiled the Model 3.
Yes.
Which is the third car in Elon Musk's master 4-car plan. Don't ask me, it's a 3-car plan, but it's 4 cars. Anyway, it's the most affordable one. And Elon announced a couple of things. First and foremost, that the car is going to be $35,000.
Yeah.
It will get 250 miles of range.
Yeah.
And then it will do 0 to 60 base model in 6 seconds. Yeah. But the most interesting thing that people seem to gloss over is that it won't be available until the end of 2017.
If you're one of those first people to get an order in,
And if we look at Tesla and we look at their history, it's probably not going to be 2017 because the Model X was late and the Model S was late.
And the Roadster was late.
And the Roadster was late. So we're realistically probably looking at something in 2018.
Probably, yeah.
That's like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time. And here we're sitting with a bunch of great hybrids, plug-ins, electric cars that are available now. So we thought it'd be fun to do a top 5 list of electric cars or plug-ins or hybrids that you can buy right now, as opposed to waiting, 2.5 years for a Model 3.
Yep.
All right, so you're the expert. Let's start and chat and give me number 5.
Number 5, I would say, is the Chevy Spark.
Okay, why?
Well, to make it in the top 5 list, I mean, it's a pretty good car. It's very efficient. It's very torquey. It's about 400 torques, and it accelerates like crazy. 0 to 20 miles an hour. There's not much on the road that'll beat it, but it's also really efficient, and you'll get that 80 to 100 mile range. And it's comfortable. It's got a lot of cool technology in it. Heated seats. Nice driving car.
So go ahead.
Oh, it is a great little city car too. Easy to park, and lots of little room. And it's a 4-door.
So there are about a dozen or so what are called compliance cars, which are sold mainly in California, right?
Yep.
These are electric cars like the 500e, the Smart E, the Chevy Spark electric that aren't sold anywhere else but here, at least in California.
But California or Oregon,
Right.
Yeah.
And so you get those here in Colorado, which is really cool.
Yeah, I ship them in, and the tax credit qualifies. So a car like that's going to get, $3,500 in tax credit. So it's only about $14,000 for a nearly new electric car.
Plus, you have to buy new front tires. Every?
You do a lot of rotates.
400 pound-foot of torque going through the front wheels.
Yeah, it moves.
All right. So that's number 5. How about number 4?
Number 4, I would say, is the Fiat 500 I'm sitting next to here.
Why?
It is exceptionally fun as well. Lots of real torquey. I'd put it higher, except for it's only a 2-door, not as roomy as some people need. But as far as looks, overall driving experience, efficiency, most customers are reporting about 100 mile range in these things. It's a great car to own.
And how much is this one?
This one, top of my head, it's about 16 and a half. And then after tax credit, about $13,000.
That seems like a bargain. Is that because fuel is so cheap right now?
I think it's a combination of that, and there needs to be a large enough difference between a new one and a used one. So the used market on these electric cars has depreciated. They depreciate very fast, and then they plateau. And so they kind of have been hovering around the same market. price for a long time.
This is hard to get, right? You're saying
Yeah.
Fiat makes it really hard, or in this case FCA. How do you buy it even?
It's a nationwide warranty, but
Right.
they don't like to ship them out of California because if there is a problem, they got to fly tech out or something like that.
So how did you get it?
I bought it from from an auction,
Yeah.
from a private party. Someone must have traded it in at a non-Dodge dealer or something. So yeah,
But usually if you're not a FCA dealer, you can't get these.
Correct.
Even used.
even used.
Now I gotta tell you, if it were my money, I'd get this one, the Fiat 500e, just because, well, look at it. It's orange, it's fast, it's fun, and it's affordable. All right, maybe not. Maybe if it were my money, I'd actually get this one. But for $113,000, that's a lot of cash to put out for a car that is green and sexy, but expensive. Number 3.
Number 3, Kia Soul EV.
All right, I don't like the Kia Soul EV. I think it's too slow. Tell me why you think it's number 3.
Most people don't need to drive fast. it gets you everywhere you need to go. It's still faster than like an old Honda Civic or something.
And it's this cool electric blue.
It's cool. My neighbor came over the other night. I drove one home. She called it a clown shoe, I think. But she said, "You could drive any car here. Why do you drive this home?"
Yeah.
And I told her it's really comfortable. It's heated seats, heated steering wheel, really great infotainment system, and it's really smooth and quiet. I like driving them.
So if you
and roomy, much roomier than
it's
the
got a lot of
electric.
room.
Yeah.
And all these cars have a lot of things going for them, right? They've got the batteries down low, so they
Yep.
give you a great center of gravity, gives it that kind of go-kart handling feel.
Yep.
But there's this graph, right? It's range versus power and speed, right? And you could tilt that graph any way you want. So you
Right.
you could take the batteries so that they give you a lot of power and speed, or you can take the batteries so that they give you a lot of range. And what Kia did with the Soul is they give you more range.
Exactly.
So it doesn't have that kind of torquey, fun to drive that I like.
Yeah. Preferencing, but I think for most people that just need to get around town, get groceries, drop the kids out of school.
How much is it?
It's $23,000 before a $6,000 tax credit because they have a big battery, so you get the max tax credit on those. So 17 grand for what was they still sell them new for $36,000, and this thing has just a couple thousand miles on it. So
How much range?
what are they rated at range?
I want to say they're like 80 miles,
I think-
70 to 80. Is
I believe you're right,
officially,
yeah.
So all these cars that we're discussing have under 100 miles.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. All right, number 2.
Number 2, if I'm going pure electric,
Yeah.
I'm going to say the B-Class electric, the Mercedes.
Okay.
Which puts you a little over 100 mile range. If we're going to go combo, I've got to put the Chevy Volt in there as a range extended plug-in hybrid.
yeah, especially the first generation.
Yeah,
The new Volt just came out. We drove it. We did a 100-mile loop with it. It's more Prius-like. Is that fair, right? It's
right.
kind of got that
5-seater.
Yeah.
It looks like a Prius. Yeah,
But I like the old one better because it was really different.
it was.
And
Yeah.
you sell those?
We do. Yeah, we sell the heck out of those things. They're really popular. I mean, 40 miles of pure electric range, which is more than enough for, pardon me, most people's daily drive. And then you can drive to Florida in it without charging if you really wanted to. So
Yeah, it's got a gasoline engine
Correct.
that kicks in and charges the battery after you deplete the battery.
correct. Yeah.
All right, number 1.
Nissan Leaf. You got to. There's more of them than anything else. They are very reliable. Getting that under 100 mile range, but they're level 3 chargers on board.
That's a nice perk because it'll charge quickly.
Yeah, and they're cheap. I mean, I have a Nissan Leaf out there with 7,000 miles on it, SL model, and it is, I think it's like $9,500 after tax credit.
Yeah, because Nissan is kind of the Walmart of electric cars, right? They sell
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
they sell most of them. They're very popular and they're very basic. So a lot of these electric cars will actually heat and cool the battery to give it optimal performance.
Yep.
Nissan doesn't do that,
They heat the battery.
but they don't cool it.
But they don't cool it, yeah.
So and they put the level 3 charger, and then let's talk about the level 1, level 2, and level 3.
Yeah.
People should talk about that.
Definitely.
Should know about that. What's the difference?
Basically, the difference is a level 1 charger, which is your 110 volt outlet.
Yeah,
will
takes
charge.
forever.
Takes forever. About 20 hours to fully charge it. If you were completely empty.
Yep.
Level 2, depending on the amperage, will charge a Nissan Leaf in like 3.5 hours if you have 40 amps circuit in your breaker box. So that's a rate of about 28 miles per hour of charge time. So it charges plenty fast for most people. You drive less than 30 miles, you plug it in, it's charged in an hour. Level 3 charger will charge the car to 80% in about 20 minutes.
Supercharger, Tesla calls it.
Supercharger, yeah. Puts a lot of heat in the battery. It's not something you want to do on a regular basis, but if you need it, it's there. You could drive to. We have lots of customers that have bought our cars from Pueblo and Colorado Springs and have made that trip just with hitting a supercharger on the way.
So let me ask you this: if people want any of these cars that we mentioned, what's your website?
greeneyedmotors.com, and pretty easy to navigate website. We provide Carfaxes, full vehicle history reports for every cars. We fully inspect every cars. We give inspection reports, and lots of inventory there. There's about 100 cars in stock, not just electrics, but that's kind of about 40% of our inventory.
Now the one I want is the one behind us.
Yes, yeah. You've had a chance to drive one.
Yes.
Yeah.
The BMW I noticed you don't have a lot of the high-end cars except for this. You don't have the Teslas, the Model S.
We're sold out at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people really want those.
We've done pretty well with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the i3?
I have had a couple of those in here. They're a little slow sellers. I think people are concerned in Colorado. It's a rear-wheel drive car.
Yeah.
So
They don't want that.
yeah.
And how about the Model X? Too early.
Model X, I haven't had one of those yet, but mine will be here in about 3 weeks to a month. Tesla tells me.
All right. All right, guys. So if you're jonesing for an electric car and you don't want to wait, let's say 2 years, being realistic,
At least.
for a $35,000 Model 3, which may or may not be $35,000, there are plenty of great options and they're available used. How good is that? So you don't have to have $113,000 to drive green. You can get a used Fiat 500e for under $17,000. And you don't have to live in California to buy one of the compliance cars. You can do it here in Colorado. And that is pretty darn cool. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fastlane Car. Thanks for watching, and check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and of course, real-world EV reviews. See you next time. Ciao.